You are in the meeting now. There is one other participant in the meeting. This meeting is being recorded.
Yo,
Hi. Hey, G.
what up? What up? How you doing?
Great, great. Nice to
So you can hear
finally.
me? You can hear me good?
I can hear you. I wish it was a little louder, but I can still hear you okay though.
Louder. How's this?
Yeah, that's a little better.
All right, for sure.
Okay. All right. So you're the first person that I'm being interviewed. I'm interviewing. So as you
Yo,
can tell, I'm excited. And this is the first one, and it's part of the support from the California Arts Council. I've
mhm.
sent you some images of it, and the Arts Council of, sorry, trying to get out of the logo. Anyway, the Arts
Yeah,
Council of Long Beach, and part of the youth program at United Cambodian Community.
right,
And then they're also gonna help promote it and push it out in highlighting talents in Long Beach and Central Long Beach.
for sure. That's what's up. I appreciate y'all having me.
Excellent. Yeah. I actually saw you perform in Anaheim. That was like a few years ago.
You talking about the CMS festival?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think that was like 5 years ago. Yeah,
Right. I remember that. I think that was like one of the second performances that they put on. Is that right? I know that was a while
that
ago.
that was the second festival that they had going. Yeah, they had one the year before that, and then that was their second one going.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you get into music? Did you grow up with it?
So music, I think being being in Long Beach, you're surrounded by like variety of cultures and people. So I think as human beings, we naturally have this gravitation towards music, towards sound, towards things that we like. And of course, Snoop Dogg was big around here. So that was all that my brother was playing. A lot of the homies was playing, and just like every day, radio was good. It was big back then. So you couldn't go nowhere without hearing music. And so at a young age, I always had a thing for music, but I didn't really know I had a passion for it until middle school. I started writing poetry. I started writing little raps. It was just like for fun, just writing raps for girls and whatever. It wasn't until high school and college when I started to mature and started realizing that I was channeling my emotions with words, with music, and it was something for me to use to distract myself, opposed from what was going on in the streets, like with gang violence, with discrimination, with just everything that comes around being living in certain neighborhoods. So I fell into music as more of a getaway, but it became more bigger as a passion as time went on. As I kept going with it, I started realizing how much I enjoyed it and how good it felt for me. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Long Beach, so do you still live in Long Beach?
yeah.
It's I know I know there's been like incidents throughout Long Beach right now, violence, and
Hmm.
it's really unfortunate. I mean,
Yeah.
if I I mean, is there something you can say around that to help, to
Just
calm
like
this?
all like the violence, gang wars, and all that stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So with everything that's going on, it's unfortunate that that kind of seems like it's normal to us, you know. And I feel bad just because I think that minorities or a lot of the underprivileged people don't have a chance to really explore or have the right resources to distract them from a lot of what's going on. I think in the future, what I would like to see is being able to have a lot more resources to where people can actually spend time doing what they want to do instead of spending time on doing what they might have to do to survive or might have to do to defend themselves amongst other people. Because I don't think, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt that not all people are bad or have bad intentions. I think they're just put up in bad situations that tend to manipulate their decisions that causes them to do bad things. But I don't think people are bad people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. It's so I'm a little older than you, and I've grown up here in Long Beach all my life. So
Yeah,
the worst of it that I saw was in the 90s. Um,
definitely.
and um, and you know, it's really a tough time growing up. My brothers and cousins had to leave the state, you know, like going to Las Vegas or to Washington State, different states, North
Hmm.
Carolina, just to escape the violence, right? But the sad thing is the people that, because I work in the community and just seeing what's happening, the unfortunate thing where people, were you born here, by the way?
Yeah, I was born in Arizona. Then I moved to Long Beach when I was like one.
Okay, yes, yes. So the people that came over, like my age or younger, they came over as a refugee. So many of them never really got, you know, citizenship. And because of the violence and the records that they had with the police,
Yeah,
and now you know, they have done time and whatnot, and it's coming back to them going into ICE facility,
right,
and
right.
yeah, and it's really unfair because they have already done their time, you know, and now they're going to
Yeah.
be in an ICE detention center and then being potentially deported. So
Hmm.
yeah, we can get into another conversation around that too. But yeah, I don't want to
Hmm.
distract from interviewing you and just getting to know you a little bit more.
Right, right. For sure.
So I've been looking at your video on YouTube, uh, and I think for me, your performance and your sound and your vibe is
Mm.
seems to be like uh, let's see, smoother, more about love, more about romance. Seems like there's
Hmm.
not so much to me like a gang influence, but it's also um, like an underpinning of it below. I
Yeah,
don't know if that's
because
a fair observation to you.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think so with me, my biggest approach is, of course, like we all come from very similar backgrounds as far as having friends, family members, or even sometimes yourself being in situations when you got the homies that are from gangs, or people that are from gangs. But like I said, like that don't mean these people are bad people. It just they happen to make certain decisions that are different than what you choose to live your life as. And for me, I wanted to break the stereotype of um, specifically for Cambodians to where as artists, that's all they were viewing us to be as gangster rappers, or that we had to talk about, X, Y, Z. And for me, it would be unrealistic for me to talk about stuff like that when I didn't fully submerge myself into those situations. And I think what I wanted to do was be able to be transparent with the other emotions that we deal with as human beings, as far as relationships, chilling with the homies, talking about goals, talking about being able to get past this invisible threshold that I feel like minorities have. That we think that it's just right there, but really this is an invisible ceiling that we think is there, but it's really not. And so my goal is to break this some sort of like systematic oppression of what we think society has placed on us that's really not there. You know what I'm saying? And I really want to push the envelope for us to want to strive for greatness and not mediocre stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a really great goal to have, to be able to see a person that looks like you and that has maybe have the same experience, being able to make it and break it through the
Yeah,
that wall or that glass ceiling they call it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I think also to be able to have the opportunity too, right? For young people
Right.
out there to be able to say, hey, you know what? There's some support out there, and then there's also to be able to have say uh, resources and the industry
Hmm.
supporting you. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's also important because you feel like you can try so much, but then if the other side isn't really helping you, I don't know if you have uh, seen or encountered some of these challenges.
Challenges like from the community, or are you talking about like the industry?
Probably both. You know, I'm sure that you have people in your community who are supporting you, and other people perhaps are waiting to see how you are going to make it. There's always people
Yeah,
out there, I feel like, is always waiting to see if you're going to fail or if you're going to be able to swim and survive, you know?
yeah. I think the biggest thing is to not. So I like to kind of talk in metaphors because it's easy for me to explain stuff.
Hmm.
I have a specific goal. I have a specific destination of where I know I want to be with myself and how I want to lead the pathway for anybody who wants to use me for an example. And when you start to distract yourself from outside noise or what somebody else is doing in a different lane or what kind of car somebody else is driving, that gives you those are factors that can help you crash and deter you away from where you're supposed to be. And
Hmm.
so I do my best not to pay attention to what nobody else is doing, and I just straight shot on where I'm supposed to be at. But of course, you got to be aware of your surroundings. But um, I'm big on proving myself right more than proving others wrong. Because I'm not doing it for nobody else besides myself, my family, my loved ones, the people that have been supporting me since day one. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a very hands-on type of guy. I'm more so like I'm gonna do it myself before I try to show somebody the way. So let me figure out that I found the answer or some type of solution first before I try to preach to anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's kind of my approach on how I would view what I think about what others talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I think for for this interview, I was a little nervous because I didn't really know how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the format being online. I'd rather have it in person,
Hmm.
but because the situation we're in, um, it has to be this way. But this is actually a good way to start the Independence Day weekend in
Right.
terms
Right.
of,
For sure.
yeah, in terms of like finding our own artist voice and
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
be able to thrive out there. But you know the
Right.
did so tell me about your education. You said did you have a formal training in did you go study music at school or?
So music. I never went to school for music, but in middle school, I did take a poetry class, which is where I found like my passion for music. And my middle school teacher, it's funny because I haven't seen her for maybe like 15 years. When I recently had dropped my second album earlier last year of March, I wrote a book and I mentioned her. And I somehow found her just through talking to some people. And I found that she changed her last name, and that's the only reason why I couldn't find her. So it was cool to be able to show her how far I took it with music, based on that one class that I took.
Mhm.
As far as education, I went to school for something totally different. So I have my bachelor's degree in engineering, and so what my train of thought of why I chose engineering to be my major was because one, I wanted the toughest of the tough. I wanted to, if I'm gonna go hard, I gotta go hard or go home. So I said I'm gonna put myself up against one of the hardest majors out there because I wanted, to be honest, there was a lot of people I wanted to prove wrong, but I also wanted to challenge myself to see if I could do it. I already knew I could do it. I just needed to try, and I really wanted to be an example. Like, look, I can come from the hood. I can do music. I can do what I enjoy doing, and I can accomplish a lot of things that, like I said, society don't really set you up to do. But I really wanted to break the mold, break the stereotype. So I went all the
Mhm.
way up to get my degree in engineering, and even though that's like very opposite of doing music, right? It was it was just a plan. Like I knew if I wanted to make music, I needed a plan to fund myself, to be self-sustainable. I didn't want to rely on nobody to have to pay for my studio time or rely on somebody to tell me when to go. Cause, like I said, I was just self-sufficient. So I didn't want to wait on nobody to give me an opportunity where I could learn how to do it, take a little bit more time, but be able to self-sustain myself. So having a job that was good for me to be able to support myself, being able to pay my bills, to shoot videos, to go to the studio, to do whatever I wanted was just an extra plan for me. If A didn't work, I got B. And if B don't work, I'm going to have C, D, and whatever letters you can think about after that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the reality too, right? As artists, uh, we don't have the means perhaps to be able to do, say, the music or art, because you know, I went through art school.
Yeah.
Many of us can't do the work that we want to do 100% of the time. So we either have to be able to support ourselves through other jobs, and then still do what we really want to do. And now we still have
Right.
a way to sustain ourselves, but yet find that passion where you really want to go eventually, right?
Right, for sure. I see.
Yeah. So you said you wrote a book, or what? Do you have a title, and what is the
Yes,
book about?
the book is called If My Eyes Could Talk, the Things They Would Say. And I guess you could say the title is self-explanatory, but I had the idea of the book when I started thinking about my second album. And really, the book is it's not a biography. It's not a tell-all, but it was my journey of the process of kind of how I am today, from when I was born to when I released the album. And so it's a timeline of specific moments in my life that I felt helped mold me to the person I am today. So it's 150 pages of short stories, poetry or poems that I had from like the sixth grade that I kept, pictures that were never released, and just, me just, sharing my story to somebody in a book form, because I always wanted to write a book. And I felt that everybody's like a walking book. And I say that if you was a book, how would your story read like? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I just always wanted to write one. And so when it came time to release the album, I released the book to go along with it as a package deal. And that was just one of my goals, is to be able to have a story written by me. And, I had it in my own narrative. I didn't choose to have it edited by nobody. I edited it myself because I wanted to be as transparent and fluent and as raw as I am.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted people to read it in my tone, in my voice, as many grammatical errors I might have had or flaws. That's honest. That's me. Like, I'm not perfect. I have flaws. I have errors, but I want to show this to you all because I want to show people that, it's the effort more than anything,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the book that I wrote that went along with my album.
So it sounds like, if somebody was to pick up this book, they would know more about you and your process and your thought process. And
yeah, it's definitely a story of how my personality is, and it just shows how I am as a human being, more so how I became the artist that I am.
okay, so as people are probably going to be watching this, like, what if they wanted to pick the book? Where would they get it? Is it out there somewhere?
So the book, personally, I sold out of my physical copies, but the book is still online. You can purchase. There's a site called blurb.com, or you can even Google G-Funk Supreme, If My Eyes Could Talk, the Things They Would Say, and it'll be one of the first links to show up. And yeah, you can get it there.
Okay. All right. So I will put that together once we get through this interview.
Yeah.
So are you working on? Is there a project you're working on right now?
There is. So I have two projects that I'm working on. One is done. Another project that I'm still in the process of recording. So right now we're in the planning phases of my marketing, my rollout, doing videos, doing promotion for it. But, I think it's also important to be aware of what's going on in society right now. What is it that people are paying attention to? And I don't want to take the attention away from anything that's going on in the world that I feel is more priority than releasing new music. I feel like there's a bigger subject that's important for us as people to understand what's going on, is that human rights is important. Our freedom as Americans is important, and equality and just as a human race for other people that don't look like us, Black, Latino, white, Asian, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I almost feel like it would be unfair for me to release music at a time like this, where I feel like there's other subject matters that I want to point people to have them put their attention on, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the story still goes on. I'm still working, and I'm still, recording music, because you got to do as much as you can, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I definitely have projects ready, and we just kind of studying the field and seeing what's going on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear you. It's definitely a balancing act, with the Black Lives Movement, the protests out there, the looting in Cambodia town and throughout the states.
Right. Yeah.
And so if you, I don't know if you want to give advice, if there's somebody out there that could help support it with this movement of human rights and Black Lives Movement. I mean, is there a suggestion that you would let folks know on what they can do?
I think the best thing that you guys can do, or that what people can do, is hit up your Black friends directly, or hit up some of these people directly. Of course, there's a lot of things online that you can watch, but I think people need some sort of direction. I think people look for some sort of leadership, and they're everywhere. There's links. There's people that or there's people that know people that you can hit up. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the best advice I could tell anybody, is like, yo, just pick up the phone, text somebody, say, yo, how can I help? That's a direct effort to help go towards something, rather than, be on Google looking for a link to send money to, where, have you done your research on what this organization is about? And if you are going to donate, do your research and understand where it's going to, what it's going to, what it represents. So yeah, my biggest advice is reach out to the ones closest to you, because they're going to be the ones to best help point you in the right direction.
Great. Yeah. So all right. So back to some of your music, here. So some of your video, you collaborate with a few people that I was able to go through, like Brianna Marin and Kusta.
Yeah.
Is it Tayford?
Third. Yeah.
Yeah. So are there people out there that inspire you and then you're looking forward to maybe working with and collaborating with in the future?
Of course, there's a lot of people that inspire me, and if we're talking in terms of music, there's people like J. Cole, there's people like Kendrick Lamar, there's people I feel like have such a strong voice in society that I feel like I want to be able to sit on a platform with them and be able to share my voice with. So those are just people, for example. But and then even outside of music, there's a lot of other people that I'm inspired by, like LeBron James, not just so much as a basketball player, but what he does for his community. This guy built a school for people to come to, you know what I'm saying? There's people like Elon Musk, who is defying the odds of technology and just taking every risk and failure he can and learning from that. There's people like Nipsey Hussle that I've been a fan for forever, and I study his interviews and watch how he speaks and how he moves and just the choices he makes. So my inspiration stems from everybody, to even just the homies that I'm around every day who challenge me, that we challenge each other to, make sure our goals is bigger and better, that we push each other to do more, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I get that too. I see a lot of online presence from other people doing great things. I
Hmm.
mean, like you mentioned,
Yeah,
LeBron James probably has tons of money, but also at the same time, there's this movement going on, and he's trying, and he's participating as well. Uh,
yeah,
and I'm so glad to see people that are at his status and others that are visible through sports or through music, and then start
yeah,
to voice out against the injustice out there.
for
Um,
sure.
and I'm like, whoa, because I'm thinking like, wait, these people can just go on a vacation and go anywhere they want, but no, they're
Yeah,
choosing to participate.
right, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, when everything is said and done, you don't take nothing with you, but what you do leave behind is your legacy and your story and the blueprint that you left behind that hopefully somebody will follow and pick up where you left off.
Yeah, that's right. It's um, yeah, that's a great ending there.
Yeah.
So is there? I mean, what do you want people to know about G Funk Supreme?
All right, bro. What do I like? What do I want people to remember about?
Yeah, like people that don't know you. I mean, or people maybe that is your friend already that perhaps don't know you.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I want people to take away from me is that um, I was somebody who was transparent, a man of his word, that I wanted to shift the narratives of the stereotypes of what people think of not just me, but people that look like me, minorities, and everybody who come from the hood, who come from the ghetto. And I wanted to elevate the mind state of each other to greatness. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's what I want people to remember me, that I was somebody who not was just talking out of his ass, but I was out there 1,000%, just really trying to put out change, whether it's going to be by my actions, by my music, or by just solely just being unapologetic with what I'm saying, and just being transparent with everything I do. You know, I show all my moves. I don't hide nothing. And, you know, I just want to be able to inspire people to do the same.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's great. I really love your name, G Funk Supreme. Uh,
Thank you.
did can I ask how did that name come about? And you don't have to answer if you don't
So
want to.
G Funk came just because, like, of course, Long Beach, like the G Funk era grew up in Long Beach. It was born here when Nate Dogg, Warren G, Snoop, and all them. And I was just always a big fan of Snoop, like his laid back gangster style and all that. But I was always a fan of the G Funk stuff. It was cool. It was laid back. It was suave. And Supreme was really just something that I wanted to differentiate myself with. So I just threw that at the end to like kind of like put a little spice to it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So G Funk Supreme, that's been my name since like high school. You know?
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Hmm. So we are coming to the end of our interview here. I mean, is there anything you want to ask, or is there anything that you want to add before we wrap this up?
Um, anything that I would want to add, if it was something that I want to add, is for people to face their fears, understand your fears, and use it to your advantage. You know, I think a lot of people think of fear as something that's painful, something that could hurt you. But I think if you understand it and learn how to finesse it in a way where it's used to your advantage, you almost become, you build this confidence within yourself to allow you to do a lot of great things
Hmm.
once you are able to face your fears. So to everybody, to anybody who might be listening, who might need it, um, chase your dreams, face your fears, and never look back. You know what I'm saying?
Excellent. All right, G
Yeah.
Funk Supreme, I thank you for your time and for this
Appreciate your
awesome
time too.
discussion.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
All right. Take
You
care.
have a you have yourself a good weekend and be
Yes,
safe.
you too, likewise. All right.
Yeah, for
Take
sure.
care. Bye bye.
All right. Turn up.